top of Polar Night. We have one of the MVP players in this game. He won game number 2. It is
MVP Dream.
MVP Dream winning the second map and therefore forcing a third game in this best of 3. He's going up against a teammate. To the bottom of the map in blue we have the Commander.
MVP Keen.
Commander Keen bringing his pogo stick. His Reapers actually use pogo sticks. That's how they get up into the main. They don't actually have jetpacks.
Now we have a gas first in this game for Dream.
Yes.
So already a chain from what he showed us in game number 1 at least. Actually no, he was the one who went for the Reaper build, so my bad.
Yeah, just not before barracks at least though.
He played it he played a little bit different here, but let's see what he has up his sleeve in game number 3. Keen on the other hand is going for a gas again as well, so both of them starting with gas here, which kind of makes sense. Let's see who gets the Reaper into the game and if Keen actually tries to go for the same build again where he wants to get Cloak for his Banshees.
I think Dream is going to proxy a factory right behind the natural, go Widow Mine, and then maybe even try to get some siege tanks up, because as you saw before on this map, you can actually hide units on the low ground behind the main base and get vision to put siege tanks back there. Although it looks like he's just bringing his SCV right into the main, and it's kind of shocking me here a little bit. And it's just going to go ahead and make his factory in plain sight in the main, right next to an SCV.
The Reaper starting for Keen will allow him to get into the main base of his opponent again and scout. So we have a bit reversed positions here for the players. This time it's Keen who is really relying on the scouting information in the early game, and it's Dream who tries to rush out his tech, which has been spotted by the SCV already. He knows that something's going on. He doesn't know exactly what's going to happen, but that's why he is going to use the Reaper. Just jump up that cliff, see if there is an add-on, which kind of add-on he's using, if there's a starport already, and the SCV in the main base, of course, going down the Reaper right away. So there's no option for Dream without a scan or a Reaper on his own to see what Keen himself is doing.
Second, the gas goes down as well here, and the Reaper will go into the main base. We'll see the tech lab being added. Unless we have a super weird game that I can't predict.
Actually really funny, they basically go for opposite builds.
Yeah.
Dream is now using the build that Keen used in game 2, and Keen is using the build that Dream played in the game.
Yeah. Reaper gets 1 kill, of course, in the main base on the SCV, damages a few others. They do not recharge, they don't have shields or regeneration, unlike in the other matchups. The Reaper can actually heavily damage these units for later harassment. Actually gets 2 more kills there. Nicely done.
3 kills on the Reaper. Really well done here by Keen, giving him a huge edge in the early game already. That was very well done.
And he sees, of course, everything that's going on. Gets his own second gas. He's going to get a Viking out as quickly as he can.
I'm a little bit blown away how much he got out of that one Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, the control was impeccable. He picked the SCVs he wanted to have. There's the Cloak research. Then Heart of the Swarm Cloak research got decreased recently to 150 gas, so you're able to get a Banshee and a Cloak at the same time.
The only thing that we do not have is a reaction by Keen to what he has to expect here. He's getting the starport, so it doesn't really look like he wants to invest into an engineering bay and start with his own missile turrets. It looks more like we are going to see Raven and Viking out of him.
Yeah, he still has time to get turrets up.
Oh, there we go.
He's cutting it a little bit close, but he will still have the turret up in time.
He's definitely cutting it a lot closer than Dream did in game 2.
Yeah, as soon as Dream saw the tech, he instantly made the eBay. As you can see here, Tech Lab and a reactor going down here as well, so we can actually transition into getting those other mech units out. 1 Widow Mine as well coming out for Keen, and if he can actually line that shot up with a good scan or with a Viking or both, then of course he can kill the Banshee. He sees which angle it's approaching from, so he can position his Widow Mine appropriately.
Yeah, with him having the command center and the main base still, he has pretty good timings here. Oh,
this is actually kind of funny how this works out.
The Hellion is trying to get in there, Widow Mine immediately burrowing. And now we have the Banshee about to approach, but that was pretty good timing. The Banshee comes, I mean, that was like the perfect timing. It doesn't get better than that.
Yeah, that turret finishes as the Banshee flies in. Unfortunately for him, of course, no Raven just yet. He will have to rely on scans. Or, you know, the Banshee running out of energy, which is going to take forever on this map.
He's trying to find that sweet spot where he can just hover and take units down, and he kind of found it already. Taking down a few of the SCVs, but that's a lot of micro and not a lot that he achieves here. Actually takes down another Marine. I think so far 3 kills on that Banshee.
Yeah. And, you know, back at home, he's transitioning quite well. First Raven is on the way. He's just trying not to use scans if he can help it.
6 kills by now, but there's the scan. I think he was waiting for the energy there, and now the Banshee down.
Oh, perfect placement here, nearly.
Not quite.
Wow. This is just the worst possible case.
Yeah, that was perfect timing. Oh, there goes the shot. But yeah, this time was perfect timing actually for Dream.
Yeah, the placement on the Widowmine was great. Just did not get the shot off the way he wanted it to. And he's not going to be able to get a whole lot done here anymore. But just remember that this is 2 command centers against 1, and he's just now evened up the Harvester count, despite the fact that it looks like he's doing a lot of damage here.
Yeah. He is still on 1 CC.
The ground force that's coming through here, on the other hand, could actually do a lot. I don't think Keen is really respecting
31 army supply, now 28 against 17, and that is a move that Keen definitely didn't expect. He expected him to expand at least, but there's a siege check on the high ground already.
Yep, and that auto turret actually helped push things back. A great shot there, and it actually splits his Marines and targets the siege tank. Could do a whole lot. He's going to use the SCVs instead for this.
He's moving in, and he's taking down the first siege check. At least he's trying to. The Viking going into assault mode, doing a lot of damage there as well. That second siege check is struggling, and it's going down. The Banshee already trying to fly away since the Raven gives detection. This is really close. 22 against 17 army supply now. Still 2 base against 1, but we have a second base coming up for Dream now.
Yeah, the second base coming up for Dream means that this game will not end here. And, you know, decent shots here by both players. The great land here on top of the siege tank, forcing the tank mode, and he will not save it. Now he can just lift up and get away. Does he have enough for another auto turret? He tries to go for the repair, does not get it.
The Viking goes down, and so does the Vision, therefore. He cannot use the entire range of the siege tanks now, but he has still the Raven that could be utilized for that. We have Cloak coming in for Keen too. That might help him.
Exactly, that's going to really help him push this back. This Banshee, on the other hand, looking to do damage first. Where's the siege up on that tank back there? If actually it were sieged up right now, it could be doing so much damage to the Marines with the Banshee's support.
Double expand for Dream. He's getting 2 command centers instead of 1. Keen is trying to get more and more harvesters into the game. He has fallen behind in that regard. He's really trying to just make that happen somehow and get that lead in income. But to be quite frank, at this point it is Dream who has the better income.
Yeah, much better. And barely escaping with that Banshee, just really making these Banshees work. Dream in this game, getting so much utility. Going to come in here into the main again. This Banshee with 9 kills. Going to get that sweet spot right outside the range of the turret. Meanwhile, Keen's first cloak Banshee is actually going to get a siege tank going for reinforcements here. So many harvesters already killed by Dream in this game. More than 20 by now. And he's doing so much. We finally have the Banshee of Keen also doing damage. Look at the workers killed here. 25 against 6. Dream has just been so successful with this Banshee. 16 kills on this. Yep. Keen, on the other hand, starting to really go to work on these SCVs. He had that faster second CC, and now he's taken out the last of the SCVs mining at the natural. He's going to the main base now. Dream with a counter Banshee. The Banshees are everywhere, including at the natural here.
And once again, Dream with the kills. He's just doing so well with his Banshees. But Keen is also trying to put his units into the game here and doing a much better than he did at the beginning. Once more, we have a Banshee trying to find a spot maybe on top of that refinery to do something. Could he actually take down those 2 Marines, but misses it for a second. Now turns around and kills them.
Yep, both of them gone. And, well, I mean, if I give you guys an update on the worker count, it's 30 to 29 in Dream's favor, and it gets evened up as I speak. The game is incredibly even. There's just a slightly stronger army for Keen. And, you know, his composition, though, is not as... It's basically really similar. It's just going to come down to control here.
We have that 3rd command center, that orbital that is about to be completed for Dream on the other hand, and that in the long run might give him the edge that he needs to win this game. But Keen is now moving out with a bigger army, and if he gets into a good position, he can actually siege up the mineral line of his opponent. He's moving behind the mineral line. Then he could maybe get ahead in the economy. And this Banshee is still going to town here, taking down a siege tank of all things. And siege tank numbers in this situation are so important. Here comes the siege up behind the mineral line, and he cannot mine there.
Nope, but speaking of no mining, this refinery is about to go down. And it does fall.
He needs to scan there. I mean, the Banshee is already about to be... Oh, he needs to be careful here, though.
Yeah, but there's actually 2 Banshees now, so this may end up being a mistake by Keen, having to use a point defense to keep his siege tanks alive. Auto turret would have actually potentially killed the Banshee.
Reinforcements streaming in, though. 4 Marines now, so he can do a bit here. And he's just trying to buy as much time as possible where his opponent can't mine. He has a much better income in at this point. He's tripling his opponent's mineral income.
Yep. This Banshee's starting to go to work on depots in the main base, not getting a whole lot of damage done. to Dream, but he forced the lift here. This is not going to last forever, but it has certainly done some damage. Like you said,
Viking time.
Oh yeah, you know what? It comes in here.
Yeah, moves
And
in.
the point defense truck still hanging on there.
One of the tanks goes down, but there are 2 additional tanks that already came in and sieged up again. In the main base, he doesn't pay attention to this. He's so focused on the natural that he's not really aware of the Banshee taking down supply depots. One is already down, the second one being attacked here.
One
and I
Marine
don't
would
think
actually-
he realized it.
Yeah, one Marine would kill that easily. Or one Viking shot.
No income for Dream at the natural, and that is so devastating for him. Harvest is killed, 35 against 18, and right now, just the army and the general supply for Keen is just getting massively ahead. He's already ahead with 20.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to go for the counterattack. He realizes that Keen has rallied so many of his units behind the mineral line, they're not at home to defend. But as soon as Keen has a few rallied units out, if he gets a siege tank or 2 sieged up at home, he's going to easily hold this push. Another depot goes down. I think that Banshee has killed maybe 5 depots now.
He only has to defend right now, and I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He needs more siege tanks in the game. Keen scouted earlier with a scan. He saw what's happening there. Another supply depot goes down. Finally, Marines are moving in to take that Banshee down. He scans ahead again. He sees the army. He knows what's happening. Dream is supply blocked. Keen is 32 supply ahead.
I mean, he's also got this tank on the high ground. GG.
No chance anymore for Dream to get control of his natural. Keen knows it. That siege up behind the mineral line really made it work for him. He was able to take down SCVs and force the opponent back. And at a time where it really looked like Dream was going to win the game, he killed more. I think he killed 25 workers at that point in time. He had the lead, but Keen moved out. He was like, yes, I know you have an extra base, but if I can get a position behind your mineral line and hold it, and that he did, then I can edge out the victory. It was so close. I mean, there were Banshees streaming in, and the Viking just arrived in the nick of time to defend the siege tanks.
Yeah, that's so true. We talked about it a lot towards the end there, but I even said at the beginning when I saw the SCV come down with the gas first, I thought he might even try to proxy the factory back there. We've seen that before already, not only in this matchup, but in the matchup against Protoss. And like you said, if that Banshee did not come, or rather the Viking did not come in the nick of time, those 4 Marines did not come in the nick of time, he doesn't have enough units to defend his siege tanks, then the Banshees kill 4 siege tanks, he just puts his SCVs back on line and says, well, I just killed all your army, and that's game.
So really, really well done. A great move that we had by Keen, and Dream was really doing a lot of damage. His Banshees were so active on the map, at the natural, at the main base, even at home. And for Keen, it was really this sieged up position where he forced his opponent to even lift the command center, no income anymore, and slowly and steadily, Keen increasing his supply, takes the game and goes to the Premier League. And that means that we have 1 best of 3 left, guys. We are heading into another 5-minute break, and when we are back, we have our last game for the day. So see you guys in a few.